You're literally hardwired to serve. You want to do good. You want to help. Nobody's asked him that before, ever in his history, right? So now already you have a unique interview with Roger Clemens. Dude, this is super easy. This is super easy. Okay. My man.
Hey, Evan.
I met Carlos a while ago, and he said he wanted to do an interview with me, and he said he was willing to, he wanted to do it in person. And I said, okay, great. I'm in Toronto, and he's in New York. And so he took a bus. Was it overnight?
It was overnight, yeah.
He took an overnight bus to meet
hours.
me at my studio. And then we did our interview, and then we hung out a little bit, and then he took the bus back home that night. I'm like, man, this guy's going to win. This guy's going to win. It's going to happen. So he reached out and said, hey, I'm working on a project. I want to interview you. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So this is it. Over to you, Carlos. What do you got, man?
Hey everybody, welcome to Road to Success. My name is Carlos Crialdo, and I'm here obviously with Evan Carmichael. He's just as tall as me, if not taller, I think. I can't remember. But Evan is a great guy, good looking guy. I met him a couple of times here in New York City. Like I went to interview him. If you guys haven't seen my interview with him in Toronto, not too long, maybe a little over a year ago. And that was a lot of fun. But, you know, I've grown. I'm working on a different project now. And I wanted to hop on this live to learn about how to become a thought leader. That doesn't mean you have a new book, man. I'm excited about that book. Let's talk about that a little bit. What would be one of the takeaways from that book if it didn't have to be believed? What would it be?
If it didn't have to be believed. Well, okay, so it's called Built to Serve because you are built to serve. And so if you're not happy right now, anybody watching, listening, if you're not happy right now, it's because you're not serving either the world or the 25 closest people to you. But they did functional MRIs on people's brains and found that serving other people hits the same part of your brain as having food and having sex, which are also both pretty important as humans. And so you're literally hardwired to serve. You want to do good. You want to help. So if you're not happy right now, it's a good chance because you're not serving either the world or the people around you closely enough. So that's a pretty good starting point as a takeaway.
Let's take my example. You know, a little over 4 years ago, I used to think like that. Like, well, what can I offer to the world? What can I do? I'm barely making $12 an hour. I just got married. I'm 23 years old, 24 years old. How can I start serving other people? Let's just say that you knew what you wanted to do. You knew what field you wanted to get in. How can they, 1, 2, 3 step type of thing, simple thing to understand to at least get started? Okay,
so walk through with you. Tell me, well, why don't we even do it for where you're at now? How can Carlos serve more? Because it's not an ending thing. It's not like I'm still trying to serve more and greater. So where are you at right now? You let this saying you want to be a thought leader and how it can help you. So let's dive in. You're built to serve. Okay. Who do you want to help?
That's awesome. So, you know, I'm excited actually that you turned it back to me because now things are clicking in my mind, and I'm thinking about the last week or so. I've had a big like aha moment, right? So, and what I mean by that, and I'm sure a lot of people are gonna understand, this is gonna help a lot of people, I believe, is that I was posting a lot of things that weren't really me. And what I mean by that is that I was just doing like a motivational quote without actually being somebody. Not to compare, but like, let's say for you in this example, right, Evan? I would love for you to do that 1,000 times. But when it comes to somebody like me, not that I'm any less or any worse or anything like that, it's just that it doesn't come off the right way, right? People don't resonate with that. At least my following didn't. So I stopped, and I'm working with a couple of people, my mentor who I've been working with for the last 4 years, and then a new mentor of mine that I've been working with for the last year, George and Jeff. They both have been trying to help me like figure out my mission. Like, who am I here to help? What's my mission? What am I going to do? So I stopped that. I stopped doing that because I was putting a lot of effort into those type of things and not really coming out with anything, right?
Okay.
So I started focusing more on my interview show because that's what got me to meeting you. That's what got me to give my TEDx talk. And I started to refocus on why I started this whole thing. And basically, man, I just want to win the basics, man. I just want to win the marriage.
Okay.
This finances,
this is super easy. This is super easy. Okay. What's your most important core value?
Family. Marriage.
So what are you doing through your content around family?
Nothing really, at least not publicly.
Okay. So what's the point of your channel? What are you trying to, why create your channel? What are you doing?
Well, it's called Road to Success, right? So it's basically, when I started that was to like, okay, I'm this person who's trying to figure it out, but I also want to win everywhere, not just as an entrepreneur, not just on social media, but with my health, with my marriage, as a father now. He's 11 months old. So I want to win in all those areas. Here's the thing, man, because growing up, my parents got divorced. My family has diabetes. I know a lot of people that are out of shape. A lot of people that have been bankrupt, things like that. So I didn't want to fall or become a statistic. I wanted to become someone that won, but had true success in all those areas.
Great. So family is not your most important core value. It's part of it.
Yeah.
There's something that sits above. How would you, well, it's got to be, because you're talking about making it, having success, your version of it. And under that is being a great husband and being a great father and being in shape and being a great entrepreneur and having an impact. What's the thing on top?
I guess trying to define what success is for you or for me.
Great. So listen, the thing on top is success. What's the name of the show? Road to Success?
Road to Success.
What's the name of your IG account?
Carlos Road to Success. Yeah.
Okay, great. So success, if that's your most important core value, you want to have success, then you get to define what that means. So under success is the obvious of like business, impact, financial success. Great. You don't want to be the guy making 12 bucks an hour. Awesome. But under success for you is also family. What does that look like for you, right? So being a good husband, being a good father, and whatever else, being a son for your parents and whoever else. Success also means health and not being diabetic and not falling in the same traps that your family fell into, right? So you've got, even if you just use those three pillars of health and family and financial or business, they've all fall under success. So you need to make content that makes you feel that vibe of success. You're not connecting to the posts that you've been putting up because they don't make you feel success. You're just throwing stuff up there because of what other people do. Even if it's an inspirational quote or something, you don't deeply connect to that inspirational quote, and so you're just kind of posting it up. Your version of success is going to be different than everybody else's. Awesome. What you post needs to make you feel like this is a message to yourself around success in the different aspects. And maybe you open it up. Maybe you talk about balance and you talk about health and you talk about marriage and relationships and not just about business. But that's the starting point. Mm-hmm. If you're ever consuming content or making content that has to deal with becoming a success in the areas that you care about, you're going to connect to it deeply. If it's not, you're going to feel like it's a waste of time.
And that's exactly where I was. And, you know, for a long time, I was doing a lot of content of like this kid, which is not bad. Like this guy, 13-hour bus. I go to meet Evan. That's cool. And that was exciting. I will always do that. But then, you know, 3-4 years, not that I made it or anything like that, far from it. But I'm more of like, okay, it's not about how hard it was to book this interview anymore, I think. And that's the problem that I'm having, because I was so used to posting that, and that was easy for me because I just documented and batch produce and then break it down. But now that's where I got stuck, and I thought that I felt like I had the authority to do these type of quotes and different posts, but it wasn't working for me. It was far from it. So that's where I'm in the middle. I'm if you see me talking like this, because I'm still kind of like working and trying to figure it out.
I got it, but
yeah.
This is the answer. I make video. Mine is belief, right? Everything is belief. I make videos for myself. The videos on my channel are for me, to help me believe more in myself to do the next thing. The things that I post on my Instagram are for me, that then I share with other people. You need to feel like the content you're making helps you be more successful. You need to watch it back and feel like, I, Carlos, am a success today because I consumed that. It's giving you the right vibe. And that I would open it up to then talk about some of the other things that you care about balance, about relationships, about health, and about business success. Not just sharing the same story over, because you don't connect to that as much anymore.
Yeah.
So what's going to make Carlos feel like a success? And you have to be a fan of your own content. Like I need my content daily. I need my own content every day to believe in myself more. You need to have your own content be the inspiration for you to want to be a more successful person in the areas that you care about.
I like it. So let me throw you this curveball. So obviously, you know, I like baseball, right? That was I don't know if you knew, but I love baseball. That was my dream growing up. Didn't work out. So that was always my passion, but I've learned that, you know, following your passion can be a little bit misleading, because at 28 years old with a wife and a child and the injuries I have, it doesn't make sense to go ahead and try to become a professional baseball player right now. At least that's my opinion. But I still love baseball. So what I started doing, I just did an interview at 12 o'clock, and I fought for this interview, man, with Aj Burnett. Former Major League, Aj Burnett.
Blue Jay, and Yankee.
So he's an awesome guy. Our interview, and it was amazing. It was an amazing interview, but I had fun in that interview. Evan, there were so many interviews that I've done, not yours. I promise, not yours.
Right? Come on now, Carlos. Come on, my guy.
But sometimes I would be in the middle of the interview, like, what in the world am I doing, man? I shouldn't even be doing this interview right now. Not that the person is bad or that what they're saying is not right. It's just like, I just didn't feel like I should have been doing that interview. But I just did this first baseball interview, man. And now my things are like, maybe this can be a thing. Because it was still road to success. But it was also entertaining, and it was also baseball. It was what I loved as well.
Okay, so a couple things in there. One, for your old interviews, some of them might have been just to get a name on, just to get somebody who has some kind of brand following, and you hope that, you know, having that name will help you get, you know, to a certain spot, or you can use their name to leverage to go get other people. The success part of it was in landing the interview and going to go see them, not necessarily in the interview itself. Next, you have to own your role in it. So I flipped this interview back on you. You started saying, hey, Evan, I want to talk about thought leadership and how I can help, you know, build my brand. And then all of your questions were about me and my book and what I'm doing, until I flipped it to say, okay, let's make it personal back onto you. You need to start by making it about you and how that person can help you. What do you want to learn from them? Like, why are they here? Don't care about your audience. Don't think about what the viewer is going to think. Ask questions that you care about. So you bring on people, and it doesn't mean you only go after baseball stars, but baseball stars or whoever else. You're bringing on people who you care about because you want to learn something from them. And you turn it into a free coaching session. So, I mean, I'm not going to teach you anything about how to throw a pitch like Aj Burnett, but thought leadership I can help with, right? So the lead should be, I want to be a thought leader. Evan, you've done it. Like I'm 28. How old am I? I'm 40 next month. You know, you're 12 years ahead of me. I want to get to where you're at faster, right? Like, what do I do, right? And then you bring up your specific problems, and then I help you. And then that's going to be a lot more meaningful than if you're just asking questions that you think the audience will care about. So I would reflect on some of your past interviews as well and say, did you own your part? Did you do your part as an interviewer to ask questions that were meaningful to you? If you ask generic questions, you get a generic answer. They're checked out too. They're like, oh, okay, another one. Same questions. Great.
Yeah.
Right? So it's good. It's good as a filter going forward for new people you bring on. I love that you're going after baseball guys. I think it's so easy to get retired guys like Aj Burnett. He's doing nothing.
That's exactly what I did. I went on Twitter. I sent them a video, 15-second video. And
you're great at that. And you should do more. Yeah. But retired athletes are doing zero for the most part. Right? What's Aj Burnett doing? And I love Aj Burnett. I mean, former Blue Jay. What's he doing right now? Nothing. Right? Even guy like I would target A-Rod. A-Rod is doing so much right now with his own show, and he's trying to be the thought leader and get out there. And now with Corona and everything, he's pumping out content from home. That'd be a great one to be able to get. But there's lots of guys. There's tons of guys. Go through the Yankee history. How many stars have come through, and now they're sitting at home doing zero, no limelight on them. Like you could do that.
Oh,
But
I'm working, man.
I love
I'm
it.
waiting
But
on
like,
Roger. I'm waiting on Roger Clemens now, so I'm waiting on
awesome. But like,
everybody.
but more, dude,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
50 a day. Like how many people are in the Yankees history that are still alive and around and kicking and can make content? There's tons of guys, man. You know, what's David Cohn up to? What's
yeah.
Don Mattingly up to? What, like, I don't know. Reach out, go find them, or other baseball stars, even if it's not Yankees. But that's step one. I would also look at through the lens of success. Like, why was Aj Burnett so much fun for you?
Well, it was, I guess, personal to me. I mean, I saw him in the '09 series. I was sad when he left in 2012 and got traded to Pittsburgh. I've been following him on social media, and it's funny you say about the questions about learning and making it personal for me, my content. That's exactly what happened in at 12 o'clock when I interviewed him today.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, so, but here's the thing. That can happen with, it's great that it's Aj Burnett, but it's not because he's just a baseball player. That makes it easier, but it's because you had an interest in the person and you asked personal questions. That's the real breakthrough. The breakthrough isn't go interview baseball stars. The breakthrough is bring on people who I care about and ask them questions that mean something to me. So what did you learn from Aj Burnett? It's not that he can teach you how to throw a nasty splitter. Like, what did you learn from him that's going to make Carlos more successful?
Well, one thing that he said that I related to was controlling his emotion. You can find this quote on social media and online, but he says he used to wear his emotions on his sleeves. Right, he would carry his emotions on his sleeves, and when he said that, I can relate a lot because sometimes I let it go, even at work or here at home with my wife, and that's why sometimes we have problems because I don't control. I'm human. I yell and I curse sometimes, but if I can just do that a little bit better or control it, I think I can get further.
So what strategy? What did he do? What's the strategy to get better?
No, he just said he started being more patient as he got older. He started understanding that it wasn't about, showing that mean, tough guy. It wasn't about that. It's more about like being the wiser guy and having more patience.
So, but that's where you dig,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be the best interview for both of you of all time. Is like, how did he find that patience? What does he do? Does he meditate every morning? Did he come to have some aha moment? Did his wife help him through something? Does he pet his dog? Like, what does he do every morning? How did he get that patience? You tell him, dude, I struggle with this. I wear my heart on my sleeve. It causes fights at home with me and my wife. I'm an emotional guy, and I look at you, and it looks like you solved this. I want to get better. What did you do? And you dig at that as opposed to just the baseball stuff.
Got it. Okay.
Nobody's asked him that question.
Yeah.
And if he even volunteered any of that information in any interview, nobody's pulled on it because they're just bouncing to the next question. What did it feel like to get traded from the Yankees to Pittsburgh? It's like the same thing he's been asked on every interview and podcast show. That's how you make it deeply personal.
What I did ask him, though, I guess, 'cause I really tried, man. What I did ask him when it came to the trade, right? I said, how did you handle that pivot? Because you got the big contract in the Yankees. Now you were settled in, and then out of nowhere you got traded. And I compared it to now, with everything going on, everybody's scared, people are losing jobs. I got cut hours. So what kind of mindset did you have? And so I asked him a type of question like that.
And you need to make it personal to you.
Yeah.
Not about Corona now, unless it's you. Like you got cut from the Yankees and got a big pay cut. I'm facing that right now. I'm down to 2 days a week instead of 5. I don't know how I'm going to make money to pay for everything. And New York City is an expensive place to live. How did you handle it? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Like you make it about you. There's something that you know about him that you're hoping he can teach you of how to handle the situation. He's handled this situation before in a different context. You're handling it. You're struggling to handle it right now. And you want his feedback on how to actually go off and do it. So you did it, but it's surface, right? Now you got to dig deeper into it by telling me what you're going through and how it's impacting you. Like, why does your story with what you're facing right now relate to him being traded from the Yankees to the Pirates?
Got it.
And then that's all you pull on. It's like all you talked about was that in the first part about patience and wearing your emotions on your sleeve. you're going to be you're going to feel like you're more successful, but it's going to be a great piece of content that'll give you more energy and momentum to keep going off and doing more.
Right.
So you always lead with your story inside of the question and tell them why it matters to you personally. Because when it feels like they're helping you, they're so much more engaged than if it just feels like they're answering another question for your audience.
Yeah.
This isn't just for it's for me, man. This is for me. I respect you for what you've done and how you handled that. And I don't know how I'm going to get through this myself. Help me. It's a different tone. And so I love that you're doing baseball stars. It's great. You know their story. You've studied their background. You know their history. You know, Roger Clemens, you're going to bring on for Roger Clemens is such a tough guy, right? I mean, like what do you love about Roger Clemens? What do you want to learn from him besides the name?
He was the man.
Related to you.
Yeah.
What do you want to learn about Roger Clemens that is going to help you be more success?
His tough mindset.
Yeah. So where do you not have a tough mindset right now?
My finances.
This is it. So that's what you lead with. Like, Roger, man, thank you so much for coming on. I see you as one of the toughest baseball competitors of all time, like one of the toughest men alive. I remember watching your games and you just showed up every single time. And I wanted to dive into where you got that mental toughness because I'm struggling with that right now. I'm struggling to get my finances together and I know there's work I have to do and I'm having a tough time of showing up like I need to show up. What's your secret?
Got it.
That's the first, and then like pull on it until you get right. He's gonna first off, like nobody's asked him that before,
right,
ever in his history, right? So now already you have a unique interview with Roger Clemens. He feels the love, like you know his story. You're gonna use words that you deeply connect with, and it's gonna mean something to him. And now you made it personal, so that he's gonna give you a super genuine answer instead of just a media interview typical answer.
Right.
And then you only bring on people that you want to learn something like that from. And I would expand the scope. So baseball's great, but who do you want to learn relationships from? And who do you want to learn health stuff from? And maybe that's still within baseball. Like, which baseball player has a relationship that you really respect? Look at that, like, instant answer. It's like, dude, Auntie, thank you so much for coming on. I love you, man. You're my hero. And what I love about you is the relation. Like, how do you keep the relationship while having such a high stress job and travel? I'm here in New York City. I'm trying to figure out how to balance my life, my work, my career with still being an amazing husband. And like, it looks like you had it all figured out. Help me, right? Like, go get him.
Yeah.
And health. There's tons of guys. I mean, I guess the guys who weren't juicing, but. But like, who do you respect from health? Who's a guy?
Well, I had Mike Chang. Mike Chang, he was big on YouTube before.
Okay.
Six Pack Shortcuts, and I did an interview with him before.
No, but now, who do you want to learn about health stuff from?
I'm not sure. I can't think of anybody in mind right now.
Well, think baseball. Who's a health nut? What do you struggle with on health? You know what to do. Yeah, okay, but you know what to do. So it's great. So work out more and eat less junk. Awesome. Where are you struggling? You know the plan. You know what you can do, but you're just not doing it. So the consistency, the dedication, the motivation.
Yeah.
So like, who's the most consistent baseball player on their health that you found?
Can't think of any right now. I'm sure there are, but I just
but like that's the thing to dive into, and I don't have the answer. I don't know who that is. I don't know enough about history for that context. Like, but that's who you often find.
Right.
Who's still in shape now? Like, who's still working out now? Who's like 50, retired Yankees, and still working out now and crushing it?
A-Rod would be a good example.
Great. So like, bring on A-Rod and talk about health. So that kind of stuff. And the more, like, the fact that you already did Burnett, that gives you cred to go get the next guy and then the next guy and the next guy. And you're bringing on people telling their stories and giving you advice. I want to
ask you this last question. This is what I did with Aj Burnett. And just in case you have a better way of doing it, let me know. But at the end of the interview, I told him, don't hang up. I'm going to ask you one more question, then blah, blah, blah. Small talk. And I told him, hey, man, I I know you had a good time. He told me he loved it. It was professional. But if he could help me out with one person or somebody he can text and say, hey, there's this crazy guy in New York. Can you
Be
do
specific.
Yeah.
Ask. Who do you want? Who do you want that you know that he knows?
Well, yeah, no, I'm trying to save time, but I told them, hey, listen, because we spoke about CC Sabathia, and I said, hey, CC Sabathia's wife said no to me. And he said, what? Why he said no? I'm like, I don't know, but I got you. And he's like, I'm going to let him know. So that's how it all started. And then I asked him, hey, this is really hard. It's not that easy, but it took me like 30 outreach or emails or DMs from different people to finally get to you. And it's all worth it. So if you can help me out, it'll make it a little bit easier for me. And he said, man, I'm going to reach out to like 5 people.
Okay, but hold on. Be specific. Tell me who. Like, I'm trying to get to CC Sabathia, and then why? Because I want to talk about, this is a guy who was like, went way overweight and then came back in, or you respect his work ethic, or just changed into the city, or his style and his sideways hat, or like whatever, the thing that you loved about CC Sabathia, you want to dive deep into his world. That's it. That's, instead of saying who are 5 people, because I get that too. Like, I don't know who to introduce you to. I know so many people, but at the same time, I don't know who to send to you. Right? This is when people ask me at the end of a show. It's the same thing. Say, hey, I'm trying to reach out to ideally it's a specific person. So ex-teammates is a super easy one because you know that they know them. But otherwise, somebody who's gone through this, like, you make it specific, you're way easier. You're way more likely to get a yes than just to say, hey, do you know somebody might be a good fit for the show? I like that you're asking. It's a great step. Now make the step more powerful by being specific, and then the why. So like, why CC? What do you care about CC?
Well, the big story was his last year. If he threw one more inning, he would have won a bonus of $200,000. He didn't. He hit the player to defend his team, and he was kicked out of the game.
But why? Why do you care?
That was one of the reasons.
No, but who cares why? Why do you care about that? What is that? How does that impact your life right now?
Man, because I want to do that for my family. I want to go to bat for them. I want to do that I want to stand up. You know, I mean, not to talk about
Dude, I know. Of course I know. But that's what you need to tell the person.
No, I get it.
Right? Because you might say, I don't know. Listen, I'm a family guy, and part of success for me is standing up for my family. And I secretly kind of doubt myself that if I had that shot, I don't know that I would be the person. I might take the money instead of being the man I need to be for my family. That's my worry.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to him about it, right? And then you ask him that. You got to make it personal to you. Now I'm connected.
I like it. That's why we're doing this. That's awesome.
Cool, man.
I love it, man.
If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have 2 options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.